Whenever people talk about water fluoridation, sooner or later the talk comes around to dental fluorosis. You can find plenty of photographs of how bad fluorosis can get if you look on the internet. But amongst all of the videos littering anti-fluoridation websites, none of them show kids who actually have dental fluorosis. Have you ever wondered why that is? Unless you've got bad fluorosis yourself, you can have no idea what it's like having to grow up with this disfiguring condition. Kids with bad fluorosis won't talk to camera. In fact, a lot don't like talking to people at all. They're too embarrassed by their ugly teeth. In the school playground, they're the kids with the shitty teeth. Later, when they go for a job, they get passed over. Employers don't want to give a job to someone with bad teeth. They don't look as if they are all that fussy about their personal hygiene. So I'm asking you to take a few minutes to listen to Rachel. She's a bright, well-educated 28-year-old working for a postgraduate degree. She grew up in an area of England where the water is fluoridated. And, as a child, her mother gave her fluoride tablet supplements because her dentist said she needed them. The result was that she developed dental fluorosis. If, like Rachel, you've got fluorosis, then the only effective way to hide it is to have your damaged teeth veneered. But no one explained to Rachel that her veneers would only last a few years. Nor was she told that replacing the veneers would itself damage her teeth more. Eventually, she would need even more radical treatment for as long as her teeth might last. When Rachel's first veneers started to fall off, she was shocked to learn how much it would cost to replace them. Now, as an adult, she faces a lifetime of expensive dental treatment. So now, listen to Rachel as she explains what it was like for her as a child and a young woman growing up with dental fluorosis. You have experience of fluorosis from a child. Can you tell us what it was like, what you knew about it, and what you were told about it?
Okay, so when my adult teeth started to come through, they noticed that they were discoloured, particularly the front four incisors. They were very brown and mottled, as are the canines. And I didn't really know what it was from. It was only when I was more in my teens that somebody mentioned fluorosis, where you've had too much fluoride and that actually causes problems with your teeth. So yes, of course, growing up with brown, discoloured teeth is not much fun. I then proceeded to have 6 years of braces because my teeth were very out of line and had a crossbite. So that meant the brown parts of my teeth weren't on show as such. And what they did initially was to drill out the brown areas and put some sort of filling in so that it wasn't so obvious on the front four. And then before I was 18, it must have been, I was 17 then, I went to Manchester Dental Hospital and had veneers put on the front four across here. They did discuss whether to do something about the canines where there's also brown discoloration, but they felt that because of the way my mouth is, that they weren't too on show and it would be a lot more difficult to make veneers fit onto those teeth.
So you had these on the National Health?
Yes, I did. Yes.
And what did they tell you about the veneers at the time?
Not an awful lot, other than what they are and what they're made from. But it's only more recently now that they're starting to come off occasionally, that the dentist mentioned that once they've started to come off, they never grow back on properly, and you have to have them replaced at some point, particularly if they get damaged when they come off. And I was told a figure of several £100 per veneer, which was quite a shock to me because I've never really realised how long they would last for and what sort of cost would be involved.
Yes, because after you're 18, you're no longer eligible for national health treatment. How was it actually having teeth like this, at school? Like, what was your relationship with other children?
There was one other boy in my tutor group at high school who had discoloration on his teeth, again with the brown. So it was nice to have someone else that had the same thing, but of course you get picked on and get called names and things because of the colour of your teeth. It's just not pleasant. So actually having double braces and elastic bands was a bit of a relief because a lot more people have that.
So you've never had any sort of real information about fluorosis as such until you started looking yourself, is that right?
Yeah, once they mentioned that it was from fluorosis, I then looked into it a lot more, how regular it occurs in people nowadays. But I don't remember receiving a lot of information from the dentist about it other than too much fluoride is called fluorosis and this is how we're going to make your teeth look better, basically.
Where did you live when you were a child?
Just outside Chester, a village called Kelsall, so in the northwest of England. I just remember my mum saying she'd always been told that we should be given fluoride toothpaste and possibly fluoride supplements as little tablet form. Because the dentist had recommended it as a small child to have these supplements. But then later on they said, well, because there's also fluoride in the water, that you don't need to take these supplements. So I guess a bit of miscommunication between the dentistry and the water boards maybe, but you're told these things and you just go along and you're told, oh, fluoride's good for your teeth, but evidently not.
Did you challenge your dentist when you found that they were coming through coloured like this and ask him what was the cause and what you should do?
No, they didn't really provide much information, whether they did to my mum, but again, by that point it's too late. You've already got discoloration of your teeth, which is permanent. And overall my teeth are very weak, a lack of enamel. I still have baby teeth and I have no sign of wisdom teeth. They've done x-rays to see if there's any that are going to come down, but there's no evidence of wisdom.
So you'll be permanently, when your baby teeth eventually fall out, you'll be permanently without adult teeth at the back of your mouth?
At the back to here, and they said that I can have a balsam put in, but that will be £2,000. So I think I'll just be having the gap.
I imagine you're not very happy with this condition.
No, I mean overall my teeth are just not good at all, and I'm going to be facing a lot of dentistry for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Well, thank you. The people who promote fluoridation claim that it reduces dental inequalities in deprived communities. What they mean by that is that poor kids have worse teeth than rich kids, and adding fluoride to the water supply particularly helps the poor kids. It's nonsense, of course. Fluorosis damages the teeth of poor and rich kids regardless. So how can it be right to allow the dental profession to damage up to half of all kids, rich and poor, just because they want to treat a few poor kids who have bad teeth? When they ask you to support fluoridation, they tell you that it's cheap and effective because it reaches everybody. But that's exactly the problem. They don't tell you that as many as half of your young kids will get some form of fluorosis, or that 2 or 3 kids in every class at school will have to put up with the bullying and discrimination that Rachel faced when she was at school. And they don't tell you about the secret cost of fluoridation, the expensive cosmetic dental treatment that many of your kids will need for the rest of their lives just to hide this entirely preventable disfigurement. You can be absolutely sure about one thing: there's no cure. Fluorosis is for life. Rachel learned the hard way that you don't have to be poor to be penalized by fluoridation. And it's so easy to prevent. Just don't put fluoride into your water. And if you've already got it, just demand that your water company turn off the fluoride taps. It'll save the state a little money. but it'll save your kids a whole lot more.